Factory method. Actually, it belongs to creational patterns. Creational patterns are the ones that creates objects for you. Rather than creating objects with the new keyword in Java, these creational patterns actually creates objects for you. Factory method is one of them. Also governs the object instantiation process that hides the complex logic involved in object creation from the clients. So two major things. One is it creates objects for you. Second one is it hides the complex logic involved in object creation from the clients. What does client mean here? Client means here, basically client here means that is a part of your program or code that is using the factory method pattern. That particular portion of code will be treated as client over here. So let me take an example. Suppose you need to work on an Excel file in your Java program. You want to convert some of your program data into Excel file and do some operations on that Excel file through Java application. So how will you program it? The standard way is definitely you will need to find some of your jar file which can work on Excel file. So that third party jar you need to use, or if you are having your own jar to work on Excel file, that you can use. So include that jar file in your program and start coding inside your program where you need to actually include the functionality that you want to work on Excel file. So you prepare your data, convert it into Excel file object and use different methods from that particular jar file to create a proper Excel file within your requirement. So this is a standard straightforward approach that normally comes in the procedural programming language. Another thing that you can do is you can create a separate wrapper around the Excel jar, third-party jar that you are using. You can name it my spreadsheet or my Excel file, and then create all the needed functions that are required in your application. What I mean to say is, suppose this is your jar file that is ready to work with Excel file. This is your application, client application. Then you create a wrapper and create all the needed functionality which will be using this jar, and then your program will use the wrapper to convert the data into Excel file. So this can be another approach. So what will happen if there is a new requirement to work on CSV file? This is your Excel file, and now there is a requirement to work on CSV file. You need another jar and maybe some more different type of files that you need to work on, maybe on PDF also. So you need to convert your data into Excel, then CSV, and then PDF. So this type of coding is not good enough. Actually, many developers works on same part of your program simultaneously. So again, there is a problem of maintaining the code. The method names in different files may become different as different developers working on different type of files. Maintaining consistency in code becomes difficult. At a later stage, the code understanding and debugging will be difficult because the whole code will be scattered around over here. So this may be scattered and maintenance will become difficult. Even debugging will become difficult. Test cases needs to test each and every file. So if any new changes comes, you need to modify in all application using the common code. So suppose another application is requiring this same code that you have written over here and over here. So what you will actually do is just copy this code, paste it in the new application, and then do some changes, modification, do all the testing, and then you start using the same functionality in another application. So copy pasting the code is again a problem. Why it is a problem? Because if you need to change or if you need to add a new functionality into Excel file or CSV code, you need to do that change in all the application that is using that particular copy pasted code. So this is actually a problem. This is not a good coding practice.